What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon, and shout out to the Stoners. We're sitting at $420, baby. 421. Didn't last long, but you saw it. I know you saw it. You had to have seen it. If not, just replay it. Here we are, firmly entrenched in our Bitcoin Cash bull cycle, right? Nice accumulation phase at the end of the bear cycle here. Moved up. Nice consolidation phase after that, moved up, and we've had yet again another nice consolidation phase, right? Looks pretty on par for what we've seen. Definitely a little bit, I think it's been longer than the last one, right? I'm kind of forgetful. Let's see. From the high to when you broke the high, 35 bars, 35 weeks, that's a long time, man. We've been doing this 32 weeks. Kind of crazy, right? Very symmetrical. If we were to break out anywhere from now and like the next month, it's very, very symmetrical. So that's good to see, right? I do believe that that's, just in that perspective alone, that tells us that we are getting ready to move up. You look at the price action, you've got more volume than we've seen on a weekly basis, basically since April, since we were moving up last, and that came in on this week where we broke out of this small, bottom phase of this consolidation, right? Finally broke up above that where we were plagued by the 300, the 400, what was that? $370 level for months. So, I don't think you need to compare the time analysis to really say that we are probably ready to move up now. But, time will tell. We'll see how it goes. But I would expect, just like this was the week here that we broke above this high. It took 35 weeks to go, but we started that move beforehand. I would suspect we're in the same kind of situation here. We could move sideways for 2 weeks. We could pull back all the way down to 370. We could move up and then move down and then move up and then move down. It doesn't have to be so boring, but it can be like a toss of your emotions. Who knows? But in time, in a short amount of time, I would expect by the end of this year, obviously not only are we going to be above like $600, $700, but we'll be well above these highs here. I do think that we're going to see this next phase up. And then, something to measure too, I think. If we take from these relative lows, maybe I should take from this high. Let's go from this high to that high. That was a 118% move. And then from this high to this high, that was a 99% move. So it got bigger as it's going on. That's kind of nice because I am expecting this move to be bigger than the last move. If we put this low all the way down here, a 118% move from that price would put us at $1,500. $1,500 right there, right? Again, you can see what I'm doing, right? I'm taking the high to the high. That distance is about 100% growth. From this high to that high, that was about 118% growth. If we are to see this kind of trend of growth growing, then, I say it's a trend. It's only been 2 times. Technically, it's not a trend until you get 3, I think. But whatever, if it does this, if it's somewhere between 100% or 120%, that's cool. 100% move up would be closer to 1,400. That is the kind of moves that we're looking for, right? Now, I'll go over that now from this high to low here, right? That's not the low. That's the low, right? High to low here, 118%. That's how much from this high to this high. That's the distance between them. If this one is to get bigger, maybe go up to 1,700 by the end of the year, like I'm expecting, that'd be 135%. And again, growing that percentage, kind of what I'm expecting it to do. If we fall short of that, if we do something that's closer to like 100%, we do something on the lower end of that range. Even if we do something that's like 84%, that hits 1,300. That's the minimum goal, I think, by the end of the year. So that would be good too. Again, this stuff all starts very soon, right? We're in respects to this move here, which we're measuring out, right? From the high to the high. It's not even this full move that we're measuring. It's from this point. So it would be like from this point of the move and up to base where we're going to see this next move up, right? If we were to look back and compare this move to this move, we're essentially right here, right? We're right at the forefronts of this move, and it's just a matter of time. If it's not this week, if it's not next week, it's going to be the following week. If it is this week that we start moving up or next week that we start moving up, it's not going to be a straight line up the whole time. There will be other times where we pull back, but it is going to be relatively fast. And that's why, again, I expect we're going to be at those prices by the end of the year. But let's talk about the short-term stuff. I'm getting caught up in the long-term stuff. Okay. Let's see. I really like the daily RSI. I really, really do. It does leave room to go lower, right? You can go a lot lower and still find higher lows. That's fine. So be prepared for that. That would kind of idealize the thought I don't know, I idealize the notion of going down. I guess you could use either word. You know, something around like 390 comes on the table. Just looking at the prior shelf that we had here is resistance 390 looks pretty clean. Maybe we go a little bit below that and we take this pretty clean shelf as well. We had daily closing highs here and then a lot of resistance back here. Something at like 370, 390 comes on the table, right? If we take this relative low here to this relative high, the 61869 area is at 375 to 365, right? Kind of in that area as well. 394, right at the 0.5. Bitcoin Cash, and I was talking to Mr. Hat about this. Was it last night, Mr. Hat? No, it might have been the night before. Maybe it was last night on Discord, but not on the general chat, not on the like the voice chat. I feel like it was the voice chat, but that would have been 2 nights ago. Either way, maybe I didn't say that at all, and I just, or at least not to you. Maybe I just said it somewhere else. But it's very common for Bitcoin Cash to find support just above its 0.5. It likes its 6.9 level too. Don't get me wrong, it really does. But it's very common to go just below that 382 and close to the 0.5, find support there, or even just below the 0.5 and find support there. And there's a lot of things from a price perspective that would make sense to find support in that area. So all that to say, we're at $421. I'm expecting at least over the next day or two, if not a prolonged move going into the end of this week, that we would pull back to those areas, right? Something down there, and then if not next week, the week after, surely by the end of this month, we would continue to grow. And I am still expecting we would be above $600 by the end of this month. That's still the call. So I got nothing else to say, guys. I've spent enough time talking. Now it's time to just play the waiting game, right? I know it's crazy, right? It's so crazy. At least for me, I'm going to speak from my personal feelings, right? This was just so boring. It took so long. And here we got a taste. And we got to wait 2 more days to move up. It feels like it's going to take so long, but it's like we've endured so much, and now that we've gotten a little spoiled, I'm feeling the anxiety of just having to wait for this move to keep going. I just want it to be green the whole time. It's funny how you can wait for months and just be completely optimistic, but then when it's actually happening before you, you're like, no, 2 days to the downside. We don't need that. We need to go up now. And it might not be 2 days. It might be more than that, right? Just because I'm saying 2 days, that's kind of my theory. 2 more days from here that we find the low. And I really think it could be today, but I just give 2 days to be kind of graceful. It could be 3 days, who knows? But I forget where I was going to go with that. I really do think that it is going to be a short amount of time, but it could be longer, is what I was going to say. It could be longer, even though I'm saying 2 days. It could be 6 days. It could be 7 days, maybe total. Maybe not 7 days from now, but 7 days total. Maybe more than 7 days from now. I mean, we did consolidate for a couple weeks at times, moving up here, So, anyways, rambling. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. A little bit of downside, just like I was saying in yesterday's video and what I said in the Bitcoin video that I made today. I think it's a great time to buy. Even if you are anticipating prices lower, I don't think it's worth gambling, man. I think if you have money on the sidelines and you want to get in, but you want to wait for it to go down, I would say get a little bit in here, DCA on your way down, because really this normally I'm all about trying to squeeze it, right? I'm all about it. I don't try to squeeze the whole thing, but I try to squeeze most of it. I'm all about that. But in the times that we're in right now, it's different rules, guys. Because it would make sense from like all technical perspectives that we would drop another 8% from here. So me personally, I'd probably start buying if we dropped 4% or more from here, 5% or more, right? That would be when I would start buying. I don't try to catch the absolute low. I just try to catch around it so that I at least get in, right? And I'm not left out trying to get in at lower prices that never come. But I don't even know if it's worth messing around with that, man, because again, this is that kind of point in the cycle where we could turn around. You guys, who knows? Like, we could be above $600 tomorrow. I'm serious. Like, we could genuinely, we're at 423 or 422 right now. And I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't bet anybody that that's going to happen, but we're at that point in the cycle where it could happen. And that could happen is far riskier to not get involved than this probably happens, right? This is just such a small move. Who cares? You could buy here. It can go down and then goes up. That's still a less risky play because you're at least buying. You're at least in because it could just go up at any moment, man. And this is not promised. So yes, a little different tone today. I'm not expecting we get immediate continuation, right? As opposed to yesterday's views and really like the whole past week's views. But that could change, right? It changed in a 24-hour period for me. Expecting it to go down. Tomorrow we could be at new relative highs. Who knows, man? Like it really could change that fast. So if you're waiting to get into the markets, do you. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Just do what you want to do. But if I am someone that's heavily invested in crypto and I want to buy more, if I had extra capital on the side, right, and I actually do have some extra capital on the side, I would put it in right now. And I'm probably going to make a purchase tonight, actually, after I make all these videos, just with that in mind. Because I practice what I preach, I really do. But I did actually have some extra capital come into play here recently, so I am looking to put that in somewhere. I might just throw it in Bitcoin Cash. Because I think about it, man, too. I'm getting a little off topic here, kind of on topic with Bitcoin Cash, but I think about this back here, right? And I made that call, and it was a bad call. But I was saying we wouldn't go below $400 ever again. It's just not going to happen, right? And here we were below $400 for a longer portion of this overall consolidation phase. The longer portion was below $400, right? And I think about this time, and I was like, I just remember being jazzed at the thought, if you were to get it anywhere around 400, you're doing good. Here we are at 420. That's pretty close, right? It seems from the lows, from 286 to where we are now, it seems like it's at such a high price, but really, like, from the highs and from where we're going to be, it really is at a low price. And I'm very convinced, you guys, by the end of this year, we're going to see Bitcoin Cash not just above 1,000, but like above 1,500. That's what I'm thinking. 1,700 is the call that I've made and I'm sticking with, but we'll see. And if it's not by the end of the year, another thing that I've been more candid with recently is that this move, maybe it doesn't happen by the end of the year, but it's still the move and it goes into next year, right? Maybe we're not there. If we're not at 1,700 by the end of the year, boo-hoo, I'm wrong, but we'll get there next year and maybe even progress further than that, right? These are just end of the year calls. They're not end of the move calls, right? If I had to guess where I thought this move would end, just based on the fibs alone, I would think 1,900 or higher would be a good call to make, right? 1,700 is pretty close to that, but if we're at the end of December at 1,700, maybe we continue to grow in January and we hit those prices. I don't know. Maybe we go higher than that. Maybe the end of this move isn't until we're all the way up at $3,000. And I don't think it would take that long on that path. It looks like a pretty fast path, right? But that would take until October of next year. I think it would be a lot faster than that. But what was I gonna say? All I'm trying to say is this move is going to be crazy. The end of it, I wouldn't expect to happen by the end of this year. I expect we're going to be in these prices by the end of this year, somewhere in the zone by the end of the year, but I don't think that the top of this move will happen by the end of this year. So that would imply that it goes into next year. And if it doesn't stop here and it goes into next year, maybe we're looking at $2,400 to $3,400 by the end of this move. What does that mean? That means that sometime in Q1 or Q2, probably Q1, probably early Q1, we top off somewhere in this area, maybe, potentially, or maybe in this area, maybe, potentially. And then we consolidate like we did here, right? We consolidate for our next phase up, which would probably be our cycle ending rally, which is also probably going to be the most phenomenal rally we've seen so far through the cycle, as it always tends to be, right? The biggest candles, even on the shitty cycles, the biggest candles come in at the end of the cycle, right? So we ain't seen nothing yet. And hopefully the best is ahead of us, not behind us. But again, I am expecting, if it sounds crazy, if it's like he just wants to see bigger candles, so he's calling for it, well, when you break out of this consolidation phase you've been in for the last 1, 2, 3 bull cycles now, just a part of that last one, right? When you break out of that, I would expect you to get a very sizable move, right? Something in a very short amount of time, right? But time will tell. And this video went on way longer than I thought it would. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll let you guys know if I buy more Bitcoin Cash. Discord will be the first to know. I'll post it on x.com. I probably won't make a video because I'll probably be in bed whenever I make it. But if not Bitcoin Cash, I might throw it into Mana, right? Because Mana went up a little bit, now it's down. AIOZ is another one that I've been looking at, right? And I've been talking about that one for a while. Good job to everybody. There's someone in the Discord. I'd give you a shout out here. I'm going to give you a shout out because I want to find you. Hold on now. I might not be able to find you. Let's see. I thought it was on the general, but I can't see it, so that's okay. Whatever. I thought it was on the general, but it's not. It must be. Is it in the Traders Guild? Was it hustle for it? Maybe not. Who? I don't know. I don't know who it was. Well, I'm trying to give you a shout out, but I just can't for some reason. But somebody was saying that they bought some AIOZ. I hope there's more people that bought AIOZ. I know I've been talking about it since we were at 46 cents, or actually we were just below 50 cents. And here we are at 66 cents now. A little bit of a move up and a little bit of a pullback, right? So all I'm doing here, besides getting distracted, is trying to tell you guys that on the list for me to buy, it's one of these three coins. And me personally, I have the most belief that this coin's gonna perform well, right? I feel the most safe in this coin. I feel safe in all of them. I don't feel risky in any of them, really. Okay, I feel safe in all of them. But Mana, I feel like this is the most safe bet, Bitcoin Cash. That's why it's the heaviest bag that I own, Bitcoin Cash, and I'm more than happy to add to it. Mana's on the list because this one of the three could genuinely grow the most. It has the potential, I think, to outgrow any of them, and not by a close margin. I'm talking about blowing them away, man. Like, this thing has 100x, multi-100x potential by the end of this cycle. It really does. And maybe it doesn't do that. Maybe it only goes up to like $5. Well, maybe not $5. It'd probably go, I think, at least like $12 or $20. But even then, still crazy gains, right? A lot of potential here. Very secure bet as well, I think, at least. And then AIOZ, I'd compare it to Mana, just more of a wild card, right? It's new. So there's a lot of untapped potential that could come from this, but there's no guarantee, right? It's like probably a higher market cap now. It was at 500 million before. $756 million. That's still low, man. Like, that's still, you're getting in below $1 billion. Like, I don't think it'll see 100 billion, but even at 756 million, you could see 100x from here. You could see a 70 in your first cycle. You could. It's very unlikely. But there's a chance, right? I wouldn't bet against it, because it's not just like a slim chance. Like, there's a decent chance that it could happen. But maybe you don't even do 100x from here. Maybe you do a 50x. Great. You see like a 35 billion. That'd be 37.5, about $38 billion in a market cap valuation. I feel like that sounds too low from the research that I've done on this. I think that it deserves at least 40 billion, which is a little higher, if not 60 billion. Anything past 60, I'm getting a little bit less likely, but still possible. And anything below 40, the same thing, a little less likely, but still possible, right? But a lot of growth in that perspective from this one, right? And I'm pretty secure with that belief as well. The main reason for that is that, I've looked into the tokenomics, I've looked into the coin itself. I've got to pull it up over here. It seems interesting. Seems like an interesting project, and don't they all? But also, what's the real thing that really got me interested about this thing is the fact that it is like this, right? Since August of 2023, it's like this. It's up. It's one of the few coins in the top 100, the top 200. There's like a handful of coins that have outperformed Bitcoin so far this cycle, and this is one of them. And it's one of them that's like really outperformed Bitcoin this cycle, right? There's something to that. Every cycle I've been in, this is my third bull cycle. Technically my fourth, but like really my third. Technically my fourth, but genuinely my third. I would feel the most honest about saying it's my third, right? It's like, I don't know. I'm not going to compare it to anything. All I'm trying to say is, in my experience doing this, as you all probably know, I'm talking to the Dragon Riders here. There's a lot of you that are OGs in here, right? The coins that perform the best during any bull cycle outperform Bitcoin from the beginning. Most of the time it is from the beginning throughout the whole cycle. There are plenty of coins that do outperform Bitcoin at the end of the cycle, but they don't outperform it in the first half, right? Dogecoin, Mana, last cycle coming to mind. There's other ones I just can't think of, but it does happen. But this just screams greatness to me. So I definitely think this is some kind of bull flag. I would expect an exact copy of this move, right? You're at 66 cents. I think you're going like up above $6, man. Like a 10x or more, to me, is guaranteed safe in the bag to happen probably like over the next 6-month period, maybe even 3-month period, but who knows? But anyways, this is not an AIOZ video. This is a BCH video. I finished it up and I was telling you guys these are the 3 that are on the docket for me. Genuinely, I would personally, Jesus would be on the docket for me if I wasn't like set up with Jesus. Like I got a lot of Jesus coins, guys. I don't need to climb the ranks anymore. I'm in the top like 180 wallet holders. I'm okay. We're okay with it. We don't need to add more. I want to. I really do. Like genuinely, if I wasn't a top wallet holder, this would be on that list. I would happily put it on that list. So for anybody out there who isn't invested in Jesus coin, genuinely, out of all of these coins I've talked about, this one could grow the most. Lowest market cap, most risky, but I have a lot of convictions in this too, mainly because of the community and because just how open the one of the founders is of this coin, right? You don't when things go wrong, even if people don't mean for them to go wrong, even if it's not bad actors, people don't always handle it the best way. This guy, we had a mishap happen with the burn back here, and it's totally legit. The coins are burned. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's irrelevant, but don't even worry about it. But there was a mishap that happened. That's all I'm trying to say, right? And it was during Christmas. And the guy, one of the founders of this coin, he comes out in the middle of his Christmas dinner and makes an apology and does his best to explain. And to me, it seems transparent. He's like being very transparent, right? I can get behind someone like he created this project, and then the community too. You get to know the community, man. There's something special here, and a lot of people were questioning his honesty back then or whatever, and a lot of people weren't too. There are a lot of people who weren't, but I confidently said, just like I would say now, nobody scams like that. Nobody's going to take a break in the middle of their Christmas dinner with their family, go outside just to try and calm you down, just to try and tell you everything they know and be transparent. I like that. I like transparency. In crypto, I think everybody should like transparency. That adds value to any coin, right? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes transparency, if there's a lot of negative stuff, can devalue your project. But when mishaps happen and you're literally reporting on the spot the moment it happens in the middle of Christmas dinner, you got my respect, man. You got my faith in you. And that's Maker Lee, one of the guys that made this, right? And he's still heavily involved with the project, right? Promoting it. He's got a presence in the crypto space, and a lot of people in the Jesus Coin community are building a presence for themselves in the crypto space as well. But I have a lot of hopes for this coin. So went from a Bitcoin Cash video to just here, let me advertise these coins for you. I like Litecoin too, you guys. I do tell people I think Litecoin's going to do well this cycle if people ask about it. This is one kind of like Bitcoin Cash to me. I think it's less risky, a lot less risky. But I think the gains, I'm not as certain of the gains. The gains could be larger than what we see with Bitcoin Cash, even larger than what we see with any of these. It really could be. I'm uncertain. I'm uncertain, right? And maybe it'll seem so clear after it's consolidated for so long that of course it would blow up. Of course it would settle for nothing less than $6,000 to $10,000. But I don't know that. At the moment, I'm expecting something around like 2,500, maybe 4,000, something like that. But it could go way higher. We're at $74 now, guys. Like that's, there's decent gains to be made here. And it is, to me, one of the more secure projects. Litecoin, in case you guys didn't know, for anyone who's still here to hear me advertising coins, and I'm sure all the Bitcoin Cash people, a lot of you guys probably know because you guys are in the know with stuff like this, but Litecoin is one of the most used coins. I think it's the second most used coin, if not the third. It's either ahead of Bitcoin Cash or behind Bitcoin Cash. If it's ahead, it's the second. If it's behind, it's the third. But that's accepted by merchants, right? And people dog Litecoin. But it's one of the most actually utilized by merchants cryptos that exists in the whole space. And it's been a dominant coin. It's been in the top 50, the top 20 for most of its life, right? Like, that's not an accomplishment most things hold, right? And it's really just been consolidating. So I really do think people are underplaying Litecoin. I think it's going to blow up as well. But I'm going to stop talking, right? I should have stopped talking whenever I found out that I was going off the rails from Bitcoin Cash and making this an AIOZ ad, and then I proceeded to advertise Jesus Coin and Litecoin. But don't let me. Let's advertise Mana too. Don't let me discriminate here. I like Mana a lot, right? And the only reason I would buy AIOZ over Mana at this point in time, Mana has a lower market cap than AIOZ right now. The only reason I buy AIOZ over Mana is I already have a good bit of Mana. I don't have any AIOZ, so diversifying a little bit. But I have wanted to buy some Mana for a long time. Like you can go back and watch videos throughout any time here. I was on the fringe of buying it, and I still am. It's one of those coins that I just really... And coins like that, how many coins like that do you guys try to buy, or you think about buying and you just don't pull the trigger, and that's the coin that blows up. Thankfully, that's this coin for me, but I already hold a good bit, right? I've been holding for a long time, and buying more. But like literally the first time I bought was back here. We round tripped it all. Maybe we took some profits. I forget. Because my wife holds most of it, and I got my mom to buy some too. And because we spread it out, right? I don't want to have all the money in one account, right? And I'm not saying my mom has her own account. That's different. But like me and my wife, we share our stuff. But we like to split it up, right? Because it's something like $200,000, $250,000. Maybe it's more now that the FDIC insures. Like if you get scammed and your money gets hacked, you're basically, it's not FDIC insured on Coinbase, but it is technically, like through like some loophole it is. And per account, the limit is like $200,000 or $250,000 that they can guarantee safe, like to pay you back in liabilities. So if we spread that money out across multiple accounts, for people who have more money than that, it's kind of essential to do that, I think, right? Because then we might both have Coinbase accounts, but and we're married, so it's it's the same bank account essentially, right? But different Coinbase accounts means she's got that $250,000 liability. I have that as well, or that covered, right? In case any mishaps happen. But man, here I am talking about other advice too. I'm just trying to say that because she was the one that held it, that's kind of why we didn't sell. But I might have held some too. I forget if I sold some up there. I don't think I did. We bought more down here when it came back to the same areas, bought more whenever it went lower, and I really want to buy more now. But here I am just talking so much, so I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I really got nothing else I want to say, guys, so take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.